Betrayal. The word itself sends shivers down your spine. It evokes feelings of anger, sadness, and a profound sense of violation. History is littered with tales of betrayal, but few are as shocking and enduring as those of Cassius and Judas. These two men, separated by time and circumstance, are forever linked by their infamous acts of treachery. Prepare to be shocked, outraged, and perhaps even a little bit afraid, for the capacity for betrayal lies dormant within us all. The names Cassius and Judas have echoed through the corridors of history for millennia. They are synonymous with betrayal, their deeds forever etched in our collective memory. Marcus Junius Brutus, often overshadowed by his co-conspirator Cassius, played a pivotal role in the assassination of Julius Caesar, the ruler of Rome. Cassius, a skilled orator and general, manipulated Brutus, Caesar's close friend, into joining the conspiracy against the increasingly powerful dictator. Their betrayal, a cunning plan executed on the Ides of March, marked a turning point in Roman history, plunging the Republic into a period of civil war and ultimately leading to the rise of the Roman Empire. Judas Iscariot, one of Jesus of Nazareth's 12 apostles, committed the ultimate act of betrayal by handing his teacher over to the authorities for 30 pieces of silver. The story of Judas's betrayal is central to Christian tradition, serving as a cautionary tale about the dangers of avarice and the devastating consequences of betraying one's faith. Betrayal is like a stone cast into a still pond. The initial impact is shocking, but it's the ripples that spread outward, disrupting the tranquility, that leave the most lasting damage. Both Cassius and Judas's actions sent shockwaves through their respective societies, causing widespread chaos and uncertainty. In Rome, the assassination of Caesar ignited a power vacuum that quickly descended into chaos. The senators, believing they were liberating Rome from a tyrant, instead unleashed a period of bloody civil war. The very foundations of the Republic were shaken as various factions vied for control, culminating in the rise of Octavian, Caesar's adopted son, and the birth of the Roman Empire. Judas's betrayal of Jesus had a similarly profound impact on the nascent Christian movement. The arrest, trial, and crucifixion of Jesus threw his followers into disarray. From the ashes of tragedy, the story of Jesus' resurrection emerged, transforming the act of betrayal into a cornerstone of Christian belief.
I was a man of contradictions, a brilliant military strategist and a gifted orator, yet also deeply ambitious and envious of Caesar's growing power and popularity. Some historians argue that I saw Caesar as a threat to the Roman Republic, believing his ambition would lead to tyranny. They point to my republican ideals and my lineage as a descendant of Lucius Junius Brutus, the man who overthrew the last Roman king, as evidence of my commitment to preserving Rome's traditional governance. However, others argue that my motives were far more self-serving. As Caesar amassed power, I grew increasingly resentful, believing myself to be his equal, if not his superior. Narrator, media, bust of Lucius Junius Brutus, ancient Roman lineage family tree, Roman senator looking resentful, dramatic reenactment of Cassius plotting. To understand an act of betrayal, one must delve into the mind of the betrayer. What motivated Cassius to orchestrate Caesar's downfall? Was it pure envy, a lust for power, or something more complex?
Judas Iscariot's betrayal of Jesus is perhaps the most infamous in history, but what drove this apostle who had walked with Jesus, witnessed his miracles, and listened to his teachings to commit such a treacherous act?
The Gospels offer few clues about my motivations, painting me as a shadowy figure consumed by greed.
The Gospel of Matthew states that Judas went to the chief priests and offered to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, the price of a slave at the time. This suggests a motive of pure avarice, portraying Judas as a man willing to sell out his teacher for a paltry sum.
However, some scholars argue that my motivations were more complex. They point to the Gospel of John, which states that I was the group's treasurer and often stole from our common purse. This suggests a pattern of deceit and a potential gambling problem, which could have led me into a desperate situation where I felt compelled to betray Jesus for financial gain.
The Ides of March, March 15th on the Roman calendar, dawned like any other day, but for Julius Caesar it would be his last.
I, having carefully orchestrated the conspiracy, assembled my fellow senators, including the conflicted Brutus, to carry out our deadly plan.
As Caesar entered the Senate that fateful day, little did he suspect that the men he considered his allies were about to strike him down.
I had chosen the location carefully. The Senate, a symbol of Roman power and authority, would serve as the backdrop for our act of defiance.
As Caesar took his seat, the senators, pretending to plead for favors, surrounded him. Cassius gave the signal, and the attack commenced.
According to legend, as he looked upon Brutus, his trusted friend, plunging a dagger into his chest, Caesar uttered the words, "Et tu, Brute? You too, Brutus?"
The immediate aftermath of Caesar's assassination was chaotic. The conspirators, their hands stained with blood, fled the Senate, hoping to rally the people to their cause.
But they had miscalculated. Rome, far from celebrating Caesar's demise, was plunged into turmoil. Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal lieutenant, seized upon the public's grief and anger, skillfully turning them against the assassins.
Cassius and Brutus were forced to flee Rome, eventually confronting Antony and Octavian, Caesar's heir, at the Battle of Philippi.
Cassius, believing all was lost, took his own life, his dream of a free republic dying with him. Brutus, facing certain defeat, followed suit.
Judas's fate was equally tragic. Overwhelmed with guilt and remorse after witnessing the consequences of his betrayal, he returned the 30 pieces of silver to the priests, crying, "I have sinned in betraying innocent blood." Betrayals echo from ancient Rome to today. The stories of Cassius and Judas are not merely historical footnotes. They are timeless cautionary tales reminding us of the corrosive power of betrayal and the enduring human capacity for both great loyalty and unimaginable treachery.
These stories transcend time and culture, resonating with our deepest fears and insecurities. Betrayal is a universal experience. We've all felt the sting of a friend's harsh words, the pain of a lover's infidelity, or the disappointment of a family member's broken promise.
These betrayals, though often on a smaller scale, can be just as devastating as the historical examples we've explored. They leave us feeling vulnerable, questioning our judgment, and wary of trusting others. What would you do? The ultimate test of loyalty. Imagine yourself transported back in time. You are a Roman senator during Caesar's reign, witnessing firsthand his growing power and ambition.
Would you stand by your friend and leader, even if you harbored doubts about his intentions? Or would you join the conspiracy, believing you were acting in the best interests of the Republic, even if it meant betraying a man you once considered a friend?
Now imagine yourself as one of Jesus' disciples. You have witnessed his miracles, heard his teachings, and believed him to be the Son of God. But as his ministry becomes increasingly controversial and the authorities close in, would you remain loyal, even if it meant risking your own life? Explore more. The greatest treasons in history. The stories of Cassius and Judas are just two examples of betrayal's enduring legacy. Throughout history, countless other individuals have committed acts of treachery that have shaped the course of empires, ignited wars, and shattered lives.
From the betrayal of Joan of Arc to the treachery of Benedict Arnold, history is rife with stories that will shock, appall, and captivate you.
Explore the stories of those who dared to betray their countries, their comrades, and their own beliefs. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts on betrayal. Betrayal is a topic that has fascinated and horrified humanity for centuries. It's a subject that evokes strong emotions and sparks endless debate. Now it's your turn to weigh in.
What are your thoughts on the stories of Cassius and Judas? Do you believe their motivations were purely selfish, or were they driven by more complex factors? Have you ever experienced a betrayal that shook you to your core?
Share your thoughts, experiences, and insights in the comments section below. Let's engage in a thoughtful and respectful discussion about this timeless and always relevant topic.